Hey guys, Drew again. I want to show you a little game that I got. It's pretty good. Um, you know when you get like a really nice game and you go through the file share and you're like, please save, please save, please save, please save, please save. And this one saved. I literally ejaculated right then when it saved. I was like, wow, the one game it saves, and it's a nice game. Um, it's probably the most tactical game that I'm going to show you for a long time. It's a gameplay of how to pretty much solo a domination game. I'm not saying that these people aren't doing anything, they're just not working as a team. And you could say that I'm for blame for that because I wasn't using a microphone, or you could say maybe I wasn't particularly a team player. But what I was doing is keeping an eye on the points as best as I could, and just making sure that they were under pressure all the time. And that's what you want to do on Black Ops. Modern Warfare 2, it was about tearing them up and just keep them at bay. Now it's just more of picking them off individually. And I said this before, but it's about pissing them off, really. In this game, you can get quite pissed off quite easily if you... It's most games that do this, but if you see somebody camping in one spot, and you just come back and then you get killed, and then they're like, oh wow, this guy's right there, I'll go back and get him. Then you get killed again. That's when the guy starts becoming irrational and perhaps saying to his teammates, come help me kill this fucker. That's when you start to piss off the team and they stop worrying about the objective and start worrying about you. And that's what you're trying to cause, really. I mean, you might think it's all about defending flags, which it is to a certain degree, but it's also about just giving them a certain mentality which just makes them pissed off. I know this for a fact because, I've been in this mentality, even if I'm in parties and stuff. And, I get fucked up here. Oh, unlucky. Even if I'm playing with a team, I will start to get pissed off and start to kill whore and shit like that. So as soon as you start doing that, you start doing well. As you see, what I did before is that I flanked around the middle, which is quite weird. On this map, this is launch obviously. On this map, all of the combat, I'm not going to say actually, most of the combat, I'd say 90% of the combat, is based around the flanks, being your south and north side. And that's because of where you spawn, and just because it's the easiest way to navigate through people, and where you're most likely going to come across people that you can kill. And that's where people go, and they don't expect you to just take the middle. So if you're on launch, I just recommend running through the middle like you're a madman, and it works out quite well. Unless you're trying to defend a flag like I was doing just then. I was being quite stupid then. After that, I realised that it's probably not the best idea to just, keep jumping down. So I try and take a different route, or route, for all you Americans out there. Different route, and I'm trying to keep these people pissed off. And I think I jumped down here because somebody's trying to capture the flag, and my team aren't doing anything. And pretty much that's the gist of it. When it comes to domination, it's about just getting them off of the objective, playing the objective mentality, and getting them into a KD whore mentality. And it's also about keeping an eye on B, because if you're a one-man army, like I tend to do an awful lot, I don't play with parties as much as I should do. But if you're a one-man army, what you'll be wanting to do is keeping an eye on B, because you can pretty much rely on all of the other people in the match to keep an eye on the spawn flag. And the spawn flag, I mean, like, for example, I think our spawn flag is A at the moment. Yeah. So our spawn flag. And, so you want to keep an eye on the B. And obviously you're going to get more kills in doing so. Anything else I can say about this? Use a pretty standard setup that you're comfortable with. Don't go for anything outlandish, like, I wouldn't recommend a submachine gun, not in this game type, because it's not about KD whores completely, it's just mostly about it, just not 100%. So using an AK is pretty good. I just pick up a Pow. I just ran out of ammo with the AK, unfortunately, but I did. That's why I haven't used scavenger, by the way, because I know I'm mixing up the topics here, but I do this all the time, so get used to it. Another thing that Black Ops has done, the assault rifles are pretty even. I mean, there's no real dominating one, as is with the submachine guns. I mean, you might think the AK is dominating because of accuracy, but I'm talking about the AK-47U, by the way. You might, but if you think about it, so are the other weapons make up for it in different ways. I mean, the AK's got quite a low fire rate if you think about it, compared to the other submachine guns. The AK is quite slow, so you could say that makes a disadvantage. But at long range, it's got an advantage because of the accuracy it has with the grip. But on a Capparis, I think, yeah, Capparis, highest fire rate, pretty shitty recoil. So, in conclusion, it would be a good idea to pick up another weapon as your secondary as well, because all weapons are fairly balanced. Doesn't matter what you pick up, really. You can tear up whatever you feel like. It's when picking a gun, it's all about what you are comfortable with. It's not about what's the best. You know, it's whatever you're comfortable with. Another thing I want to touch on while I'm on this slight subject, without going too much of a tangent, secondaries. Secondaries are pretty generic, really. There's no dominating secondary. You can say the ballistic knife is alright. It's a gimmick again. You can also say that the crossbow is another gimmick. It's not very helpful because the blast radius is small. One thing I'd really like to see of the crossbow is the ability to switch bolts, but I haven't seen that yet. As you see, I just pick up another weapon because I've learned from my past experiences. I'm using at the moment, the CZ75 Auto. The only reason it's auto is because, well, there's no real reason for it. It's just because, I mean, if I'm in a tight situation, I can pull it out and shoot as much as I can. Yes, so, in conclusion, right, pick up a primary weapon as your secondary as well, if you can, because the secondaries are shit. All I have to say about that subject. I think this game's coming to an end. Right, what I'll be doing is I'll be uploading a game probably tomorrow. I want to do a bit more of a, I don't know, heart-to-heart talk. I mean, one thing I really haven't done with you is talked about general life and stuff like that and how to deal with it. I mean, I'm not the best person to talk about it because my life is shit at the moment, but I'll tell you how I'm dealing with it and stuff like that. And I mean, I know I'm only talking to 20 people, but if I help any of those 20 people, I mean, that's probably a plus. So, I've got a nice game, because I just went to my 3rd Prestige. I've got a nice game of Demolition. Yeah, it's Demolition, and it's my first game as 1st Prestige, and I get level 1 to 8, which is pretty good in one game. And it's not a brilliant KD, but it's just more of a backdrop, because it's quite a long video, so I think I'll use it as a nice discussion video. I think I'll just tell you now, I think it's 64 and 47 KD, but considering I'm using default classes, I thought that was pretty good. Alright, this game's coming to a close. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in next time, and I'll be talking about life to life, like heart-to-heart talks and stuff like that. I need a catchphrase. Think of one for me. Will keeps thinking I need a catchphrase. Maybe I'll think of something like random. Giraffes